Good evening, sports fans from across the nation. I'm Garcia, and this is Johnny Fogel. Now let's talk about the two big NCAA basketball games that took place today. Game 1 of the men's Final Four was between a number 1 team in Purdue versus a number 11 seed in North Carolina State. Throughout the entirety of the first half, the score was fairly close, with Purdue leading almost the entire half. Then, in the second half, it was primarily all Boilermakers. Although NC State didn't go down without a fight to continue their Cinderella season, Purdue punched them in the mouth, leading by as much as 20 points towards the end of the second half. In the end, Purdue won by a score of 63-50, punching their ticket into the national championship game.
In our second game, the defending champion and the top-seeded Huskies took on the 4th-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide. Let's take you to the second half where both teams are tied in a hard-fought battle, but UConn, off the back of 21 points by Stephen Caskell, started to pull away, setting up a date with destiny Monday night where the Huskies looked to win the first back-to-back college basketball men's national championship since the 2006-2007 Florida Gators. Now let's look at the journey of our two number 1 seeds who have ended up in the national championship game. For more, Layla Ruterman.
Purdue entered March Madness with high expectations as the number 1 seed in the Midwest. After their wins over Grambling State, Utah State, Gonzaga, Tennessee, and now North Carolina State, they've secured themselves a spot in the national championship. Here's what Purdue head coach Matt Painter had to say about their performance so far.
To win a championship and get 6 games and be able to win 6 games, you're going to have a couple games in there, a game or two, to where you just don't play as well offensively, and you got to find a way to win that. So congrats to our guys.
Their competition in the final game, that would be the defending national champions, UConn. UConn, to no one's surprise, was the number 1 seed in the East, once again forging a path to the national championship. Head coach Dan Hurley has an explanation to what makes his team so strong.
We got a lot of confidence, and I think there's a factor with teams now that have seen us play where when we get on a run, I think it's it's disheartening for the other team because they've seen it. They've seen us do it a lot.
Will UConn be able to force a two-peat, or will Purdue be able to secure the first national championship in program history? Reporting, Layla Ruterman.
Awesome. Now let's go out to London Christensen to see how the emotions are running high in preparation for the national championship.
Following Thursday's victories, both teams are embracing the weight of this highly anticipated championship. Purdue's Zach Edey talks about his excitement to play in the national championship, while UConn's Donovan Clingan focuses on building a two-peat at UConn.
This game is what we've been talking about all year. The reason I came back is playing games like these. It's really the reason I've been playing college basketball for 4 years. Like, we talk about this every year, and to finally get to this game.
Everyone came to UConn to try to be a part of history, and we're one step closer to our goal. But none of us in this locker room are satisfied, and we know we have a lot of work to do.
Purdue and UConn will face off Monday, April 8th at State Farm Stadium. Back to you guys.
In other sports news today, the Dodgers took on the Cubs at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Dodgers, with the help of a 3-run 5th inning and 5 shutout innings thrown by new major leaguer Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers were able to pick up a 4-1 victory, sealing the deal to get Yamamoto his first career win in Major League Baseball.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap up our coverage for tonight's games in the Final Four. For Garcia, I'm Johnny Fogel. Thanks for joining us. Good night.